Hey, welcome back to A Faster Me. This video is brought to you by Building Block Construction. Building Block is good for all of your new construction, remodels, and things of that nature. So more information will be in the description. So now let's get to some racing. So I got Ellen here with me. This is CBR number 1, first race of the season. That's Marlaina in front of her there. And this is the women's 3-4-5 race. Ellen, what are you thinking here? What's going on?
Well, just looking to get kind of a good start and sit in. First race of the season, it was a C race for us, just kind of really preparing for Valley of the Sun. Coming out with our new kits for the first time, so looking at Marlaina, I think they look really nice. Definitely making a statement with those. And, you know, I was very surprised at just kind of how easy it seems kind of everyone was taking it. I was prepared for a really fast start to the season. Like, I think last season started pretty fast and stayed fast the whole season. So I was really prepared for that this week, and it wasn't quite the case.
Yeah, and so, by the way, for those of you who don't know, yeah, we started our own team this year, just based after, our coaching business and the name of the channel. So it's A Faster Me is the name of the team. That's our new kits over there in the blue, purple, and orange. And yeah, it's kind of exciting to just get our own thing started and see how we can do. For this first year, we're supporting a women's team. We have more women that just weren't able to race today, so only 2 women raced. I have a couple guys on the team, mainly Cat 4 men, and they're kind of on their own for this year. But next year, we're looking to bring on more sponsorship and support a women's and men's team.
You could see in that corner there was a pothole surrounded by some orange paint. But really, I don't think it's anything to worry too much about. You can easily go inside or outside of it, and, just doesn't need too much focus.
Yeah, I think, honestly, I think you did a very good job of racing today. As you guys can see from the beginning, there's a big crash. So, but until that point, if you've watched our channel and seen the videos, Ellen has some bad habits. She has, she's really strong. Her fitness or strength is not really the issue. It's just some of her riding techniques and riding habits. But I think she was racing actually really good this race. So we were excited with all the off-season training and things like that to get the season started. And unfortunately, it just didn't end up being the start that we wanted.
For sure, I was determined to stick to the plan and be a little bit more disciplined and ride wheels. And, we've done quite a bit of work in the off season, have been doing some group rides, and I've just kind of been practicing, some of the accelerations to stay on wheels, and just was looking forward to kind of coming out and working hard today, and unfortunately didn't get much of a good workout in, so it was a little bit disappointing to end the way that we did, but that's part of racing. And luckily nobody got too hurt, at least to my knowledge. Everyone was able to kind of walk away, and no ambulances were involved, so I'd say that that's a win for today.
Yeah, definitely. It's always good if first of all, it's always good to just finish a race. But in the times that you're not able to finish, it's good to just not come away with any serious injuries. Both of their bikes are pretty busted up. Ellen's handlebar is snapped, so that's never a good thing. So the bikes will be down for a minute, but hopefully they'll be back ready and be able to ride and get their fitness up for Valley of the Sun.
That's the goal. And you can see here this may have been a preem lap or for some bar points, because this was one of the only times that I think we picked up the pace in the 12 minutes that I was in the race. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you guys are actually not going even that fast. You're only going 19 miles per hour. So, it looks fast on video a little bit. But, yeah, the race wasn't as fast as previous years. And a lot of it could be, you can see the floor is wet. So it's been raining off and on today. It was raining pretty good in the morning, and then it dried up. Then it kind of, spit out some sprinkles and a little shower here and there. So everyone was a little cautious today, I think. So the speeds were down a little bit overall. Even though the efforts were high, a lot of the speed was a little bit lower, a couple miles per hour slower than like previous years.
Yeah, I averaged 20 miles per hour for the about 12 minutes I was in the race.
Yeah, shout out to Mansion. That's Mansion right there. She had came by and let me know that the girls had crashed, and I was able to ride my bike around the edge of the course and help them out, pick up bikes and stuff like that. So yeah, it had a good group, really strong group of women today. Yeah, the field was kind of stacked for a 3-4-5 race, and I know some of the girls are just trying to get points, trying to move up to Cat 2, but I think it's going to be a good year. That's actually Katrina there in front of us in the all black. I think that's Sandy right in front of Ellen there. And Sandy ends up, spoiler alert, Sandy won the race. Sandy's super strong, and she's racing the P123s this year as well. So, yeah, I think the field was stacked. There was a couple big hitters in there, and just some really strong girls all the way around.
There's a lot of tactics in the making, so I was looking forward to seeing what it was going to be like, but unfortunately, all that is out the window when you have an incident. So I think, a few riders went down from Big Orange, a couple riders went down that were able to get back in the race, and then Marlaina and I also didn't make it back in the race. So
Yeah, I think overall, if I'm not mistaken, just judging by the video, I think 6 women were in the crash. I think the crash is in about one more lap, and I think 6 women total were in the crash. I believe 2 got up and finished the race, and then 4 did not. Just from broken bikes and stuff like that. I think everyone was fairly okay. Marlaina probably got the worst of it with a banged up knee, and she actually hit her face on the ground, so that's never fun. I went through that 2 years ago. But overall, I think, there's not too many serious injuries.
yeah, and when it happens so fast, and I think you just got to find a way to see the good things in it, and the team bonding, and getting a chance to spend a little different time with your teammates. So
Yeah, I think, Ellen, you did a good job here moving up on the hill. Everybody has to put in a decent effort here. So the fact that you're putting in a little watts is not as big of a deal here, just because the entire peloton has to put in a couple watts. And overall, you didn't put in too many. A quick 300-watt burst got you up from about 15th place to now 3rd place. And yeah, this is just a good job of you having like the right mindset compared to, say, last year. I think you did a little bit more riding last year than racing, and this was a good start to the year just with the race mentality.
yeah, I was happy I only averaged 150 watts. Here I was looking to let a few more riders come by because I was trying to stay in maybe the top 10 or 7 to 10. Didn't really want to be out front doing too much work. So, we're hoping to get Marlaina maybe in a breakaway, but we didn't get a chance to see that come to fruition.
Yeah, and that's Emmy right there. I didn't even notice her in the race in the black and blue. Emmy's super strong. She's a young rider, and it's good to see like when you have like junior riders in the race. And a couple years ago, they're like 12 years old, and then when they become 14, 16, stuff like that, they just have that growth spurt, and they're just super strong. And Emmy's one of those riders that I think people should keep an eye out for. She's really strong, and I'm pretty sure she's going to have a really good year. So here the pace has definitely picked up. If you remember last time I pointed out they're only going 17, 18 miles per hour. They entered this stretch here at 25, and now they're up to 23. So, we're just about 10 minutes into a 30-minute race. So I think now people are just kind of settling in, getting a little comfortable, and you can see the pace has picked up. And there's a decent number of preem laps too during the race. So yeah, the pace is getting a little hot here.
And you can see I'm still not doing very much work, so it's so much easier just when you're kind of tucked in the draft. But here, I think everyone's having to put in a little bit of effort.
Yeah, this is a pretty. I mean, it's a wide course, but it's pretty fast typically.
And here I'm on the left side, which is not where I want to be just because we are all kind of bunched up. I know that that is typically where crashes get pushed to. So I'm going to kind of find a way to move to the right side. And yeah, who knows if, if I would have done better to stay out here. I don't know.
Yeah, I think overall your strategy was correct to move back to the inside. You definitely don't want to be on the outside for too often. You know, if you can use it to your advantage, that's great. But overall, you don't really want to be on the outside. You can't predict your line. You're at the mercy of the people to your inside going into the turns. You're going a little bit wider around the course, which is not that big of a deal if you can stay protected. But overall, I like the inside a little bit better too because you control your own destiny most of the time. And here is a situation where you find yourself a little bit further back and you try to move up, and this is actually leading into the crash. So if you see, Ellen moves up a couple spots here, and she's going to be riding behind the lady in Big Orange here. And, you know, I'm going to talk about the Big Orange rider a little bit, but I'm not trying to insult her or anything like that. It's just a racing incident and things happen, but I do want to educate the crowd a little bit or the peloton a little bit to try to avoid this situation. If you can see, she separates from the peloton a little bit here and starts to go to the inside. And then that little hesitation, she comes across and, you know, clips a wheel and the crash goes there. I'm going to slow it down here and let me explain what happened because I have the audio to the video, but I'm not going to obviously air that while the ladies are talking. But the situation here, and I understand the Big Orange rider kind of thinks that the PRT rider maybe chopped her wheel, but honestly, it's a situation the Big Orange rider created, and let me explain it. So if you see here, we're all everybody's to the left, the peloton's to the left, and as we start to approach the turn, if you see the Big Orange rider right in front of Ellen, she's going to actually move to the right too early and separate from the peloton. And even though that looks harmless, it's actually not when you're approaching a high-speed turn because what it does is it creates two separate angles. The peloton's going to be at a wide angle cutting across, and they have no choice but to take that angle, especially at the speed they're going. And once they commit to turn in, they can't adjust after that. And the Big Orange rider is going to be so tight, she almost has no choice but to either slow down or speed up and then turn it incredibly tight, which most of the time you won't be able to do. You're going to come across riders if you speed up. So really her only alternative is to slow down. So if you see here, she separates a little bit. She's about 6 to 8 feet to the right and going a little bit further to the right. So that's mistake number one because it creates kind of a T-bone dive bomb situation here. And then her second thing is, see right here, she's parallel and not too bad. But what she does here is she tries to slow down, but she doesn't commit. She doesn't commit to the turn, and she doesn't commit to hitting her brakes either. So it leaves her in kind of a coasting no man's land. And then when the PRT rider hits the apex, which she has the right to do, that's her space, then it creates just a no-win situation right there. So it's just a racing incident. I'm not trying to blame anyone. I'm just trying to point out what happened. And unfortunately, every crash is someone's fault, but it's just racing. She didn't mean to do it. It was accidental. And I'm just going to play this video here. This is a video I made a year ago called Dive Bombing 101. And it was just about the tendencies. And even though this is Latara here in this video, the video is about my wife and my wife dive bombing. So don't think that I'm trying to isolate or pick on anyone. My wife has been guilty of dive bombing many times. And I made an entire video on her of Dive Bombing 101. So anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you at the next race.